Hey guys! Today I'm creating a Magma Velociraptor app doll. As you can see, I already made the body. I show the entire process in one of my previous videos. The link is in the description. I also made a quick tutorial showing how to create posable wrists. I start by placing masking tape on the body, on which I draw the lines of the armor. I use aluminum mesh for the structure of each piece. I draw the lines with a Sharpie and cut them. I apply the first layer of Cosclay to make a solid structure and bake the pieces. I then add a second layer of clay to create the texture. I create deep lines where the lava will be visible and smaller ones to form the texture of volcanic rocks. I make some adjustments on the pieces by removing or adding clay. I blend the added clay by recreating the texture. I make the rest of the pieces the same way. As you can see, I had to make a lot to create the armor, and I am not even finished. I then create the pieces for the legs and arms, which are one whole piece each. I decided to add obsidian shards on some of the back pieces and the neck. I carve a hole where I want to insert them and fix them with Cosclay. For the head, I use 2-part epoxy putty to create the armor and add little spikes on the side. Now that all the sculpting is done, I can paint everything. I start with the interior of the mouth. I put a base of neon yellow acrylic paint and create a gradient with neon orange. I paint the tongue neon red and the teeth white. I finish with 2 coats of high gloss varnish. Before screwing the jaws in place, I place fabric on each side where the 2 pieces will pivot to add friction. I then paint the rest of the body with neon yellow. diluting the acrylic paint a lot to paint the fabric. I paint the armor pieces black. I first put white on the line for the magma, then red and neon orange. I applied another coat of white on some places to put neon yellow. I finished by painting grey highlights on the rock texture with a dry brush technique. I add 2 coats of matte varnish on all the pieces and put eyeglass on the magma. I applied red paint on the spine of the Velociraptor. I then glue all the armor pieces on the fabric with E6000 glue. Once all the pieces are glued, I create a gradient on the body with dark yellow, yellow-orange, dark orange and finally red. I add speckle for other color to create visual texture for the magma. I then paint a gradient on the hands and feet. I add red between the little scales and paint them black, like the claws. I finally add some grey for the highlights and put 2 coats of matte varnish and eyeglass for the claw. I continue by making a gradient on the head and paint the armor the same way as before. I finish by putting 2 coats of matte varnish and eyeglass for the spikes, eyes and magma. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you for the next project. Bye bye!